Hello everyone, I'm Alise.
And I'm Chloe.
And welcome to the Cool Down Room. It's race week, so let's talk about the Italian Grand Prix.
First of all, we're on video. Hello? We have been planning video since May.
Yeah, we've been planning this for genuinely months. I don't know how we just started doing this. Mostly because we were not going to be able to do video while we were on summer break.
Yeah, that would have been
from school, because it would have been really hard. You would have gotten a video of me just curled up in my closet like a gremlin.
Yeah.
Something out of The Hobbit in there.
Face reveal for the host.
Face reveal for people who don't know what we look like. I need to bring this closer to my face. I always forget that I look like I'm eating the mic every time we do this. So Tamar's in here. You can't see her, but she's here. She's recording everything.
Yay.
She's our social media manager, for those of you who don't know. Special guest. Shout out. Do you want to talk about Pierre?
In F1 news, we're actually going to do this. Pierre extended his contract with Alpine until 2028.
Clap if you're shocked.
Yeah, I was not. Okay.
We all knew that was going to happen. Come on.
Ferrari 1-2 gave so much hope.
It gave me a lot of hope, and I'm not even a Ferrari fan.
And for people who don't follow, Monza is the Italian track, and Monza, Italy is the capital of Ferrari. It's where it was founded. Yeah. So it's a huge deal for Ferrari fans. And people were like, oh my God, Ferrari 1-2 and FP1, they're going to win.
And then they absolutely didn't. Even I thought they were going to win. I succumbed to, the home win, hope that we all had.
Yeah. Everybody got a little bit egotistical at the beginning of the weekend, and that's okay.
Literally what happened over the summer, because everybody is beefing. I swear to God, they're all beefing.
Everybody just took their summer break a little bit too seriously.
Yeah.
In all honesty.
Here, about Carlos, you wrote this note, but I'm going to say it. Always the same fucking guy is so funny.
Yeah, I think they need mad at each other.
Everybody was mad. I think they need to do it like they do it in NASCAR and just start duking it out on a regular basis. I think that would be funny.
Yeah.
NASCAR, they fight. I don't even watch NASCAR. That's genuinely the only thing I know about NASCAR is that they fight each other, and I think it's really funny.
Yeah.
And I wish F1 could do that.
Lando in the gravel twice. Don't know what's going on with him right now, but
he's scared.
There's something in the air.
There's something in the air.
Paul for Alpine. I love Paul Aaron.
I love watching Paul Aaron.
I love him.
He's a silly guy.
He spun out. Oopsie. It's okay. It's just FP1.
It's just FP1. It's fine.
Isaac in the gravel, which caused a red flag, made me sad because
I love Isaac. Okay,
Isaac is my favorite rookie.
What happened? Because literally, last week he got his first podium, and then he kind of had a sucky weekend, if I recall correctly.
Well, okay, we'll get to it, but he started in the pit lane for the race. It didn't end that way.
I don't even remember hearing about why he was starting. I genuinely don't remember why anybody who started in the pit lane started in the pit lane. I heard nothing about it before the race.
I don't know. George had a technical issue. He got stuck in second gear.
That seems dangerous.
Something's in the air at Mercedes.
Something's in the air at all of them. I love seeing Davide Valeschi comment because he gets so excited. He has good energy.
None of the other commentators bring that to the table, and I didn't really know what his name was until last weekend because I would always be like, oh my God, that one commentator. That's the energy.
Yeah, that one very clearly Italian commentator who's super excited.
And it's the way all of the commentators are English, and then he's the one Italian one, so all of the names are pronounced differently for him.
Oh my God, yeah. It's like Charles Leclerc all over again.
I know, it's so funny. I love him.
I pronounce Charles's name differently depending on what I'm saying. I'll say Charles Leclerc, and then I'll go and be like, Charles
Leclerc. Anyway.
Charles Leclerc. He just has a lot better energy than the British commentators, I fear. I fear they get bored.
Yeah. Also, I feel for those of you who don't watch F1, one of the commentators is Indian English dude in his 30s, and everyone always thinks it's some 60-year-old white dude because that's what American commentators are like for sports. And then they'll pan to them in the box, or if you follow them on Instagram, you're like, that is not a 60-year-old white British dude.
I will forever picture unless it's a woman, I picture every male commentator as a 60-year-old white guy with full either full white hair or salt and pepper and a beard Lawrence Stroll's.
Yep.
That's just my default image for every commentator, and then I see pictures of Jolyn Palmer and I'm like, oh yeah, that's not what they look like.
Yeah. Okay.
I do not think I would recognize him in public. Like, I feel like I should, but I don't think I would recognize Jolyn Palmer or David Coulthard or any of the other commentators if I saw them in public, except, like, Laura Winters.
Okay.
Anyway, McLaren had 2 front wings that they were swapping out, and, like, this is a lukewarm take. I don't think you should be able to do that. Like, I think you should have to pick something and stick with it. Or, like, let's say, like, Oscar could have one wing and Lando could have the other. I don't think you should get to, like, swap them out on both of the cars. I think you should have to pick one and stick with it.
Lewis locked up.
Went straight through the run. Oh, my God. I felt so bad. I, like, lost all hope for Ferrari, to be honest.
This is Lewis's first Monza with Ferrari, and everyone is making comments about, like, oh my God, this is, like, his first, like, spiritual experience in Italy with the Ferrari fans. And then it's just, like, so much added pressure, I feel like.
Yeah. And he's already feeling a lot of pressure, and he already is so... He seems like he's not very happy.
Yeah.
And I wish he was happier because I think he was really excited to go to Ferrari only for all of this, like, horrible shit to happen. And I feel awful about it. Like, he deserves... He and Charles both deserve a lot better. I'll do this because there is so much context for this. But one of the commentators was talking about Jolyn Palmer, like, left the box and he had done a hot lap with Davide, I think. It was, and one of the other commentators there was like, oh, well, now that he's not in the box, can you tell me what your real experience was like with Jolyn Palmer in that hot lap? Because they were talking about how, like, he was, like, driving the car, and I think he was driving the car. I barely remember what they were talking about, to be honest, so maybe I was not the person to talk about this. But, they like, what was the experience? Like, was it fun or was it, like, awful? And Davide gave, like, an actual answer and was like, yeah, like, it was good. Like, it was fun. You know, it was great. And the other commentator goes, not buying it.
No.
He did not believe it for a second. And I was like, wow, that's... I don't know, it just made me giggle. Yeah. Like, it just made me laugh. Like,
sometimes the commentators will say some things, and I'm like, did you really just say that?
No, literally, especially, like, last race, they said something, and I was like, I cannot believe, like, we put it in the notes, but I was like, I cannot believe that was said.
Lewis locked up. Okay, that happened to me too. He said, I need more juice, some more speed, perhaps. And I thought that was really funny, the way he phrased it.
That's such a British way to say it. That's a very elegant way. There's a guy on campus who's very, like, elegant almost in the way that he speaks. He was like, perhaps I will come back later when he came to, like, where I work in the dining hall. And I was like, I love your energy. Yeah. Or he'll be like, may I, like, he's so polite and, like, proper in the way that he speaks. And I love that about him.
Max was mad at Ocon. I couldn't make out, they said, because they bleeped it. But, like, I couldn't make it out what it was over the bleep. But he was mad at him because Ocon tried to pass him.
Mm-hmm. In my mind, he said bitch.
Yeah.
Like, it's just funnier that way.
I'm like, leave him alone, please. What did he do?
I don't know. I didn't see this, so I'm just assuming Ocon deserved it.
I don't know. I think it was just like that Ocon tried to pass him.
It's just everyone beefing.
Okay.
Dude. Okay. Qualifying. Someone got their lap time deleted because they went to the gravel. I genuinely do not know who this was. Like, I, like, mentally tuned in to somebody getting their lap time deleted, and I think it was Max, but don't quote me on that because I genuinely don't know.
Yeah. Katie and I noted this throughout the race. Rebecca, girl.
Dude. Poor, I think her last name was, like, Donaldson or something.
Yeah.
Poor Rebecca Donaldson, because she was on the biggest, like, emotional roller coaster all weekend.
Oh my God. She was, every time the camera panned to her, she was in, like, a different state of distress. She'd be, like, standing up in stress, and then the next shot it would be like she's sitting down, but she's stressed.
She always had, like, her hands over her face, like, I'm, like, demonstrating for the camera.
She was a stressed girlie.
She was stressed. For those of you who don't know, that is Carlos Sainz's partner. Yeah, Lewis knocking Lando out of Q2 felt insane. He got illegal. Right back in, but it felt insane watching it because before, like, Lando completed his lap and was able to, like, make it through to Q3, I genuinely thought that, like, Lando was going to be out in Q2, and it felt like a fever dream for a full, like, 30 seconds. Yeah. And that was probably the most exciting part of the weekend for me.
Like, I watched this whole thing live. I was very, very slowly getting ready because I was meeting somebody at noon, and it was 10 to 11, so I was just, like, chilling. And I can remember watching that and going like, Lewis out in Q2 makes sense. Lando out in Q2, a bunch of people would have been thrown into like another like they would have lost their minds.
And which even just the phrase Lewis out in Q2 sure makes me want to cry.
Yeah.
Because what, like 4 or 5 years ago, we would never be saying that.
Oh no, you would not have. You would have not catched.
You would not have caught a single soul saying that.
No. If you said it, you would have gotten like immediately canceled.
You would have gotten punched in the face. There was a group of like 3 people all wearing banana suits in reference to the picture of Charles Leclerc from when he was on like
I look wonderful. He's on live.
What is the quote? He's like, I look the best I ever have, or something like that.
It was like Halloween or something, and they were doing it live.
I thought he was just playing Fortnite, and he was like, oh, I have the Fortnite banana suit. I'm going to put it on.
And that's like baby Charles Leclerc.
No, that's from COVID. That wasn't that long ago.
I still think it's like baby.
What year is it? Oh my God, was COVID 5 years ago?
The people on Spotify, we just locked eyes with Tamar and we're like, whoa.
I don't like that.
No. My professors bring it up sometimes and they're like, yeah, so like when you were in middle school and COVID, and I'm like, ugh.
No.
Lies.
Oh my.
Bunch of lies. Okay. Elise is having a moment.
I'm so glad we got that on video.
Lando had to pit at the end because he went off track and they had to refuel. Okay. And there was a longer break between Q1 and Q2 than usual because they had to clear the gravel off the track, and they said, and then the commentators just start going like, are you more of a gravel person or a tarmac person?
They just get bored.
And she was like, and they were like, one of them was like, I love a good tarmac. And I was like, what are we doing?
What? Like,
there was a 15...
You can tell when they start to get like
because the cameras were just like panning to the track and like it being cleaned up. And I think that was like the first thing that they thought of.
Yeah. You can tell when they like stop having something to talk about because they start talking about like the most random thing in the world, and you just have to pause and be like, are you guys okay?
Yeah.
You can tell when they get bored.
Okay, Q3, because my last note is the same one as the first one. Somebody said, it was a vintage qualifying times at Monza, and I was like, what does that mean? Like old?
Genuinely, I don't even know what that means. Like,
I was just really confused when they said that, and it was like one of the first things they opened Q3 was, and I was like,
why?
And I know they're British, so like maybe that's a thing in England to say like, oh, that was vintage, but like
is that like a slang term?
As an
like
American, I was like, what are you talking about? Like they're not old like times. Like hello,
they're not old times. I can only imagine that either it was like the same times that drivers were getting when they last like drove on the circuit, or it was like the very similar to times from when the circuit first opened, but that doesn't seem right because Monza started like 95 years ago. Like Monza predates Formula 1.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. Somebody explain this to us.
I don't know why Lewis got a 5-place grid
Honestly,
penalty.
neither do I. All I heard was them talking about it. I genuinely do not know why he got it.
It happened during Q3 and it applied for the race, and I have no idea why he got it.
I'm Googling
it. But that kept popping up over my feed all weekend, and I was like, I still don't know why he got it, but okay.
Hang on, I'm pulling up the ESPN thing. Oh, it's because he entered the weekend with it because he was going too fast under double waved yellow flags on a reconnaissance lap before the race at the Dutch Grand Prix, and we just didn't catch it. Like we just didn't see it.
Yeah.
Which you would think they would talk about it more, but who knows?
Charles was in P1 for a hot second in Q3, and you could hear like the stands no matter where he was on the track, and then Max was like, nope.
I love when people get so excited you can like hear them through.
Like, the commentators were like, they like looked, you could tell they like looked at the leaderboard and were like, oh my god, Charles in P1, and then Max was like, nope, and they were like, and Max Verstappen is in P1 now, and I was like, well, okay. George, we're on soft tires, and then his team said affirm, and I think they meant confirm, and they just said it weird, and he goes, I thought I said I wanted medium tires. And
dude,
like, okay.
People were beefing with Mercedes because of that decision, because he's specifically saying that he wanted mediums, and he probably gave them a reason for that, and then them giving him softs anyway. Like, I would be losing my mind.
Oh, yeah, no. And then the commentators went off on, like, a whole tangent about, like, communication with your team is, like, really important. And I was like, yes, we know, but he asked for medium tires.
Yeah. And also because they definitely should have told him before Q3 started, because presumably he didn't know until he asked.
Oh, yeah, no. He noticed, like, halfway through Q3.
That's the kind of thing you tell a person. I feel like they need to know that.
Yeah. Max was pole, and then Charles was pole, and then Lando was pole, and then it went back to Max. And I was watching this whole thing, and the leaderboard's going like, bloop, 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 and I was like, what's going on? Oh, I woke up early to watch the race. I mentioned this already. Shout out Katie Floyd. I love you. Nico had to box immediately. Like,
I don't think he even got through the formation lap before they were like, Nico box.
And he was so disappointed. He was like, really?
Genuinely, I didn't even find out why. Like, I still don't know why.
It was because he had an engine problem.
Of course he fucking did.
But Katie and I didn't realize that he had boxed and not raced until halfway through the race. And then we were looking at, like, who else got out. And we were like, where's Nico been? And then we had to, like, go onto the F1 website to, like, the live race updates. And it was like 2 minutes into the race. And it was like, Nico forced to retire. And I was like, huh? Like, where'd you go? Hello? It was really sad because his daughter pulled up in this really cute little green dress that said the Hulk on it.
Stop, that's so cute.
If you don't know what Nico Hulkenberg's daughter looks like, her name's Egel. No, that's his wife's name.
I have no idea what his daughter's name is.
But she's 6.
Stop.
And she's so cute. She was wearing this little green dress, and I felt so bad because I was like, you fly all that way to see your dad race in an F1 race, and then he just retires immediately. And I feel the same way about, like, the girlfriends who travel all that way, because, like, some of them, like, Ollie's girlfriend is just, like, in college, so right now she's like, still on summer break, I think. But, like, Alex and, oh, my God, Kelly and, like, the model wives, they have jobs. Like, they do
100% have jobs.
They're taking time off to go see their boyfriends or husbands or partners race, and then imagine just being like, yeah, I flew 3,000 miles, and he got eliminated on, like, lap 4.
And especially the fact that it wasn't his fault. Like,
yeah.
You could not, I would be a terrible wag, because I would be, like, if something like that happened where there was, like, an engine problem, you would have to hold me back.
Yeah.
Like, I would be beefing with my partner's team principal all the time. Like, I'm a protective person.
Yeah.
So I would constantly be like, what did you do? What happened? Why did it happen? How do you fix it? Fix it now and he can go back, right? Like,
yeah.
Fix it. Fix the problem right now. What did you do? Why?
Okay.
I would be a terrible wag. Or maybe I'd be a really good wag. It depends on how you look at it.
Isaac and Pierre also went into the pits. I don't know why.
I was like, was that previously agreed upon? Because I had heard nothing about them starting from the pit.
Oh.
Like, I genuinely don't know why they did.
I don't know either.
Nobody told me why.
Charles was in P3 for like a hot second, and I was like, don't give the entire country of Italy hope like that.
That's so rude.
Even though Kimmy's from Italy, they were all like he's not on Ferrari.
Yeah, like, that's the whole, I think I'm sure there were a lot of people there rooting for Kimmy, but he's like secondary. Like, somebody literally made a painting of Charles, Lewis, and Fred as like saints.
Yeah.
And like put it on a billboard.
Did you see the people dressed up as the Pope
No, I did not.
There was a group of people dressed up as the Pope instead of the cross on their like the big like hats. It was like the Ferrari logo. And they were wearing, like, Ferrari T-shirts instead of, like, the white robe.
That's so funny.
And it was a group of, like, 20-year-old men.
That is exactly the kind of thing a 20-year-old man would do.
And I'm pretty sure it was during, like, the pre-race interviews where they, like, go around interviewing, like, random people or celebrities. And one of the interviewers went up and he was like, so how are you feeling about this weekend? And they were like, yeah, Ferrari. And he's like, and there you have it. Back to you.
Oh, my God. That sounds about right.
Yep.
That sounds about right.
The beginning of this race was a complete shit show.
No, literally. Like, 3 people went off the road immediately. They turned the first corner and just split from the pack. And
yeah.
die. I don't know. They didn't, but
This beef was the entirety of my For You page this weekend, but
Max, oh my God.
so Max got pole at quali, so he was obviously starting first, Lando in P2, and then like Lando immediately took P1 from Max, and then they were like, you have to give it back to Lando over the radio, and he was like, ugh, fine.
He was so mad.
But,
well, because Lando was like, oh, he pushed me into the grass. And I'm like, sorry, no, he didn't.
Yeah, he goes,
He did not. Max did not push Lando into the grass, okay? Like, Lando could have very, very easily avoided that.
yeah, no.
If he had, like, gone on the other side of Max, if he had, like, aimed for, I don't remember which way it was, but if he had aimed for the other side of Max, or if he had, like, dropped back a little bit, I'm sure he could have avoided that.
Lando went, yeah, what the is he doing? Like, come on, he just put me in the grass. And then
Max cutting the corner fine.
yeah, no. And then the commentators were like, Lando was driving in a straight line no matter which way you put it. Max was going to go on the outside and Lando had to go through the grass.
Yeah. It, like, fully, Max cutting the corner, like, yeah, you know what? That sucks. He probably shouldn't have done that, and I don't love that. But it was not Max's fault that Lando ended up in the grass. That was on Lando. Yeah. Max did not push him off. Max took the place back, and one of the commentators fully thought he was going to crash. He was like, I saw that going wrong. Like, I had a vision.
And then Oscar was like, he needs to give that back. He wants to defend it, and went long.
Yeah.
Oscar's just observant.
Oscar's a very observant person.
Oscar's just watching this entire thing happen from P3, like, okay. I don't know if you saw this, but in the post-race interviews, Oscar said incident as a joke to Charles.
Oh my God.
And you can see, like, in the moment in the interview when he realized he was going to make that joke. Like, he's talking about, like, the whole, something that happened in the race, and his face just, like, lights up all of a sudden. And then he gets, like, really excited. He's like, and then this incident. And the reporter starts laughing, and he's like, you get it.
That's something I would do.
And they were like, yeah, Charles is going to appreciate that later. And he was like, yeah, thanks. Okay, bye. And then he walked away. And the commentator was like, there you have it. An incident on the course.
An incident on the track. It was crazy to me that part of my problem with the commentating is that they end up focusing so much on, like, the front three people. And then there was fully a racing incident with Lance and Esteban. And they didn't even mention it until, like, after the decision had been made. And I was like, Esteban got a 5-second time penalty because he forced Lance off the track. Like, I feel like that's the
little FIA thing, like, pops up at the top of the screen.
And I almost missed it.
For like maybe 2 seconds, then it goes away, and they're like, and we're back with Max Verstappen. And I'm like, wait, what was that?
No, they talk about it for 2 seconds, or they ignore it. And I'm like, please. Like, that is the kind of thing you mention.
Yeah. Pierre went into the gravel, which honestly didn't really surprise me.
The bumps at turn 2 looked like they hurt, though. Like, It looked like it would hurt to be, like, bouncing around like that.
Yeah.
Like, what was it a while ago? I think about this sometimes, but Fernando and Lewis being like, man, my back hurts. Like, I want to go home.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, the old men.
The old men on the track. Me too, though. Like, as someone with...
All same.
My back hurts all the time. I get it. Like, I did karting. I went karting for my birthday with some of my friends from home, and the next day, I was like, oh my God, I'm sore. Like, my whole body hurts.
And in an F1 car, you're not, like, sitting up like you are in a normal car. The reason they have such good abs is because they're, like, actively sitting in a sit-up.
Yeah. You can't breathe in those cars. No. Like, they, like, lock you in with, like, the foams, with, like, the foam stuff. And then there's certain, like, times where, like, the G-force, like, presses on your lungs and you can't breathe. Like,
Well, and also there's just, like, I'm claustrophobic, so I, like, physically do not think I could be an F1 driver. Because of the halo.
My toxic trait is that I do think I could do it. Like, genuinely, I think I could be an okay F1 driver if I had, like, started when I was a child. Yeah. And if I had known that F1 existed. The commentator started talking about how, I think it was David Coulthard talking about this, but he was like, oh yeah, like, we used to cut the second chicane going into the pit lane because there was nobody to report back on that. So just to get, like, extra, like, time or whatever, they would cut it. And then the commentators then would be like, wow, like, David Coulthard, like, just had a super fast lap. And it was fully because he was, like, cutting corners. But he was like, oh yeah, everybody used to do that.
David Coulthard seems like somebody who would do that.
He really does. He seems funny. Like, he seems like a really funny person.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about him, but other than that, but he seems funny.
Fernando's suspension broke because he hit the curb.
Again, those curbs seem like they hurt.
He was the one who noticed it, not his team. He was like,
Which is
guys, I
wild.
have to box. Like, the suspension fully just broke. And then I didn't know that, like, if a F1 car has, like, that serious of an issue, they will, like, pull it off the ground with this, like, thing to fix it so they can get underneath it. And I looked back and I look over at the screen and I'm like, why is the car levitating, Katie? It was like a full 2 inches off the ground. I was like, Katie, why is the Aston Martin levitating?
Why is it in the air? I will admit, at this point, I fell asleep. And then I woke up and Oscar was like coming out onto the podium and I just assumed he won. And then I went back to sleep.
I have a lot of notes about this part.
And then we get into Chloe's notes because I fully fell asleep. Like,
yeah. So Liam was trying to pass Yuki, and they were like bumping wheels, but like not actually causing damage to the car. And Katie was texting her friend throughout this entire race, who was also watching it. And Katie's friend goes, "What are they doing?" And Katie Katie asked, "What are they doing?" And her friend just goes, "Bumper cars."
honestly, real shit.
This is not F1. This is bumper cars. And then Yuki got mad at Liam for that. He was like, "What is he doing?"
Everybody's mad at Liam. Which honestly is real. Like,
Ollie collided with Carlos and got a 10-second time penalty, which
is a lot.
Yeah, which is also means that Ollie is two penalties away from getting a race ban.
Which, how does that happen in your first year?
That's
like,
crazy.
I feel like drivers are usually so much safer in their first year because it's a faster car. Like, the cars in F2 have a speed limit on them. Like, they can't go over a certain speed, and the cars in F1 don't.
Can I just say something about F2? I don't watch the F2 races, but I get the highlights. Those races are fucking insane.
They're wild.
Don't know what they're doing.
They're so, like, you'll hear about, like, oh, there was, like, I was told once, somebody, like, oh, yeah, I was watching, like, the F1 race this morning, and he was like, oh, yeah, did you hear, or did you see that there was, like, an 11-car pileup? And I was like, what are you talking about? That did not happen in the F1 race. And he goes, oh, maybe it was F2. And I looked, and it was, like, the F2 race. I was like, oh, no, that makes sense.
There was a driver this weekend, an F2 driver, who, like, fully rear-ended another driver and like rear-ended him so hard that the other person's car went off the track into the barrier.
I'm sorry, that's kind of funny.
He just said, like, move, bitch.
That's kind of funny. I feel like in F2, it's not even that they don't know what they're doing. It's that they fight so hard because there's so, like, few spots.
Well, and also,
like, they end up just trying to kill each other.
And also, the cars are, like, a lot lighter.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know which race it was, but one of them, like, a car, like, flipped on top of another one. You know that scene in Top Gun where they're, like, they can see each other? It was like that. Like, they were, like, one person was, like, looking upside down at the other guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's crazy. And they're like, wild. I'm fine. And then I'm like, the amount of damage,
are you fine? Like,
the amount of damage you're causing your team right now, like, I want to know how much money in F1 compared to F2 that these children are causing their teams.
Because that's what they are. They are children. Most of them are like, what, 15 to 20?
Yeah.
Like, they are not that old.
No. But yeah, there was a yellow flag for Ollie hitting Carlos. They both continued racing.
Except for Ollie's 10-second time penalty, which, because they could both keep racing, seems atrocious.
Yeah. The McLaren team kept asking Oscar over the radio if he was okay with the plan that they had, like, set on, and Oscar was like, I mean, yeah, like, you're the one who made the plan. Like, he was like, the way he just said it, every time he was like, yeah, okay, that sounds fine. It was just like, the way he was saying it was just like, girl, I don't know why you're asking me.
I don't know why. I don't know why they kept asking him, because if he'd said he was okay with it once, was the plan changing a lot?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, were they, because they'll speak in code sometimes. So
I'll get into this later because there was a little bit of code talk. But Lando had to pit because 2 pits. Yeah. And that cost him P1 because
which is infuriating.
The front left wheel drill gun thingy jammed. And you can see the 2 mechanics, like, fighting about it, and they, like, not saying anything, and then one of the other ones just whacks it, and all of a sudden it gets fixed. Oh, my God. They're, like, yelling at each other. He's like, go, go, and the guy's like, it's jammed, and then the other guy just whacks it, and it gets fixed. But he was in the pits for 10 seconds, which earlier in the race, McLaren had a 1.9-second pit stop. So for 10 seconds,
Oh my god.
it made me so mad.
I'm just like mad on Lando's behalf.
And then because of
Like,
that, Max
I'd be so mad.
And then because of that, Max was still in P1, but Oscar was in P2. And then they said, okay, Oscar, this is like Hungary. You need to give Lando P2 back. This, like, we're doing this for a reason. Let Lando pass, and then you're free to race. And he just goes, I don't know what the big deal is or something like that. But, like, he was like, fine, okay, whatever. He just didn't want to give Lando the thing.
I'm a little bit wondering if they told him to let Lando pass, because then there was a chance that the points gap between McLaren shrinks, and I believe Oscar and Lando are still 1 and 2 in the championship, so it makes the races more exciting, which means in the end they get more money.
But yeah, there was a whole thing where they were like,
that's my personal conspiracy theory.
Yeah, because Lando came out of the pits, and then Oscar had to pit, and then Oscar came out of the pits, but he was still like technically in P1, and so or P2. So they were like, Oscar, you need to give Lando the pit place back, and he was like, fine. And then they told Max
like a child being.
And Max goes, is it because he had a slow pit? Like, he fully noticed, and his race engineer goes, it's not our business, but I guess it just keeps it fair. Focus on yourself, which is like, he said a lot more than that, but basically the premise was like, it's none of your business. Focus on yourself because you're gonna win anyway.
That's genuinely so funny to me.
Yeah.
Because it's like when you have to like take care of children, or like when you see children at a daycare like fighting about something and one of them is like laughing in the corner and you have to be like, okay, like let's not antagonize them and make the fight worse.
I should also mention this. Lando didn't say anything over the team radio for the last 5 laps of the race or after the race. His like team came over and were like, oh, like, good job, good effort, that's P2, and he didn't say anything. And Katie and I were like,
oh no.
Katie and I were like, oh, he's mad. And then he and Oscar got out of the cars in the cooldown room, and they seemed fine.
I think he's fine with Oscar because Oscar had nothing to do with that pit stop.
Oh, yeah, no, and
Oscar gave him the place, so he has no Oscar. I think Oscar and Lando have no reason to be mad at each other.
Yeah, we thought Oscar was going to be like a little bit pissy about having to
I
give
would
up
see that, place. But I think Oscar also knows that like it was the team's decision, not Lando's.
Yeah,
and it was the team's fault.
Also, I should add this. I didn't add it about the cooldown room. Max won. Which I would have gotten more mad about, but it was Kelly's first time back at a race since they had Lily, and I thought it was actually really cute. But basically,
Kelly's braver than I am. I'd be out for a year. I'd be done.
In the cooldown room, they put like the name of the winner on the wall. It's like a thing. They put it up immediately after Max crossed the finish line, and by the time they got in the cooldown room, it was already on the wall, and you can see him like looking over at the wall, and he's like, that was so fast. He's like, how did you guys do that? But also, he didn't dedicate the bottle of champagne to anyone, and they didn't really spray it that much. I thought he was going to dedicate it to Kelly for showing up.
Wait. Have I not heard about this? Like,
on the podium, when they spray the champagne, whoever the winner is, they sign it, and they usually dedicate it to somebody, and he didn't.
Oh, okay. I knew about them signing it. I didn't realize they dedicated it to somebody. I've never heard about that.
Oscar won 2 other races earlier this season. He dedicated one to his sister, who like never shows up, and then did. And then he dedicated another one to his grandpa, because I think the race was on his grandpa's birthday or something like that. And Lando's dedicated to like his mom and his dad when he won Silverstone.
Yeah.
He's dedicated it to like the team or like Oscar or whatever. And Max just like didn't dedicate it. And we were like, okay.
But maybe dedicate it to your wife and newborn child, but okay. Anyway.
That's kind of it.
That's literally it. So this is like good time. We made pretty good time. Yeah, that's all we have for you today. Next week we will be right back here. We have no idea what we're doing, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. This has happened before where we just didn't know what we were doing until 2 days before the episode. We do know it's going to be a silly season. So we'll do something fun. Until then, make sure you follow us on Instagram at Ithaca Cooldown Room.
And subscribe to the YouTube
channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, presumably also at Ithaca Cooldown Room. I'm Alise.
And I'm Chloe.
And we will see you very soon. Have a beautiful week.
Mwah.